Hello and welcome to Unstoppable. I am the gas bag Kerwin Ray, who will be doing as little talking as possible and asking some really smart questions. And in this episode, we actually get really emotional with Georgio and Aaron from Fitazfk Gym in Brisbane. Guys, this one is about overcoming grief. And just last year, Aaron's wife was tragically taken away from him while they were in the middle of the final stages of building their dream gym. This episode is for anyone who has ever experienced loss. Listen up, touch your heart, because it's about to touch yours. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome to Unstoppable. We've got Georgio
Batsinilas, close brother, close.
Batsinilas and Aaron McAllister. Boys, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Now, you guys are known for having a gym called Fitazfk. Now, for those of you who are a little bit more PC correct, we call it Fitazfk Gym. So, for those of you who don't know the story of Fitazfk, why don't you give us the background?
Let's just go back to the Fitazfk. The FK is actually functional kinetics.
Is that right?
If you're asking, that's all.
If you're asking, right. If it's grandma ringing up asking for a gym membership, yes,
that's
love.
right.
It's fit as
the
functional
PC version.
kinesthetic.
Yeah.
You guys have quite the story. So you've got a pretty incredible gym in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's interesting, and I think we'll just dive straight in because Aaron, I got quite emotional when I was with the producers before we actually got together today. You've got a really interesting story, and when we sat down to do this podcast, I think one of the things that a lot of people struggle with in life is adversity.
Yeah.
And everyone's got their story. Everyone's got, and I'm sure I know Georgio, you've probably got your own story of adversity. We've probably had your own ups and downs, your own challenges. But Aaron, when I read your story of adversity, it really inspired me, but it also touched me very deeply in an incredible way because I understand. Like before you actually started the gym, you were in the midst of fitting out the gym with your wife.
Yeah. So Yasmin was interior designer for Arcafield in Brisbane. And we were actually putting the concepts together and whatnot for the gym. We had the online business, and that was all going well. But we just saw an opportunity in Brisbane, and we had this dream of building this gym, and the perfect place came up. So we just went away and put some concepts together, and then we're working it after hours on the weekends, just designing it, getting the look and the feel.
So you're putting the gym together. Let's take a little bit of a back step here.
Yeah.
Did you guys meet prior to opening the gym?
Okay, so let's go back. What, you want to go way back? Okay, so Fitazfk is basically an online fitness brand that we sell fitness guides and products all around the world.
Yeah, right.
So we've been together since.
So we met in 2007, playing soccer together.
Yep.
And I actually started working for Aaron. So it was Fit Aaron.
Yep.
We just did a couple of boot camps.
Shout out to my dad who came up with that name.
Fit as Aaron.
Fit as.
No, okay, so I'm as.
Yep.
So Aaron as.
Yep.
Fit as.
Oh,
and
Fit as.
Yeah, so I ran a corporate health business, did national programs, etc. And Georgio was one of my trainers.
So then fast forward through to 2014, I came on and I was like, Azza, let's take this to the next level. Do you want it? If you don't want it, I'll buy it out.
This is in 2014.
2014, yeah. And he's like, oh, bro, I'll stick at it. And then he went into corporate health. I was teaching at the time. And I was like, okay, let's take it to the next step. How can we take it to the next step? Fit as, it was a bit mundane, a bit boring, and we're like, we'll make it.
No offense, as.
Yeah.
Then we decided
with the hashtag,
hashtag.
With the hashtag Fitazfk.
So we actually ran an Instagram account called Fit as Health.
Yep.
That grew to 2,000 followers in a year. Did nothing in a time that people were growing, 100,000 followers in a year.
Yeah.
And I thought, we're doing all right. We're doing a couple of local boot camps here and there. Then I started dating my fiance at the moment, who said, maybe spice things up a little bit. Don't go so technical and don't go so informative. Change it up. So we started hashtagging Fitazfk and saw people responding to that. And then I was like, okay, let's make a new Instagram page called Fitazfk. And then within 3 months, we grew that to about 50,000.
Wow.
Killed it, yeah.
And it was just inspirational, aspirational content.
And this is before you even opened the gym.
No, yeah, this is way before.
So this is 2 years before. So this is coming into 2015.
Right.
So we had this plan to build a fitness guide. So we had on our bio, sign up now for the 28-day fit.
Hadn't even built it yet.
Haven't built it.
Yeah.
Fit us in 28 days. So Georgio rings me one day. He's like, hey, you want to make some money? I'm like, yeah, let's make some money. And he's like, yeah, 12,000 people have signed up for this guide. Like, we better build it.
Yeah.
So we turned the guide around in about 3 months.
Yeah.
And then just launched it. And I think the day before we launched it, I had a look. So we kept getting notifications from MailChimp. You know how MailChimp's, I guess, the billing system goes up with how many members you've got or how many subscribers. Yeah. So I kept getting these notifications. And back then I didn't even know what MailChimp was. I signed up to it, but I didn't really understand the system. And I was like, bro, they're charging us all this money. He goes, man, log in and see what it is because it's coming out of a credit card. Everything was bootstrapped, so it was coming out of personal credit cards. And I was like, all right, logged in. I was like, man, it's like 16,000 people that have pre-registered for this thing. We're going to kill it. So then, we launched on April 2nd, 2015. And then on April 3rd, we repaid a $25,000 investment. So within 24 hours, we paid the investment. And then
Investment of our own money.
Yeah, of our own money. Yeah. And then it just
paid back to yourselves.
Yeah.
Check out.
No, we didn't take a check out. We just kept reinvesting. the checks aren't coming yet, but no, they're doing well. And then every month it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And we spoke to a lot of people, and they're like, you've sort of got to try and diversify because this is going to come to an end. How many 28-day guides can you sell for $28? Fast forward 2 years, we're still selling 28-day guides. Then we brought out an 8-week guide, which did really well. And then we saw that opportunity with the gym.
Yeah, so the gym was kind of like this method that we developed through the guides and whatnot. We're like, okay, well, we need a home for this, and we need someone to shoot our videos, etc. And the gym came up, and that's how the gym got born, I guess.
And so at this point, you just had an online business.
Yeah.
Online,
You were selling guides. You had the 28-day guide. You had the 8-week guide.
Yeah.
And how were you marketing this?
Through Instagram.
Just through Instagram?
Through Instagram, yeah. So
this is prepaid ads.
Yeah, way prepaid. So everything was organic. So influencer marketing.
Don't you love the old days of organic?
Oh, wow.
Back in the olden days.
So different. And even,
So you're doing influencer marketing.
Influencer marketing.
So tell me a little bit about your influencer strategy.
So my partner and Yasmin, they jumped on it to start off with. So they were just promoting the crap out of it. So they were saying, day 4, these are the results. Day 5, these are the results. Day 10, these are the results.
Were you at this point your own little influencer?
No, definitely not.
Was Yaz?
No, I didn't even have Instagram back then.
Oh, right. So you were just jumping on the Fitazfk page and promoting it. Yeah, right. Okay.
So they just started, influence marketing and, or not influence marketing because they are our partners. And everybody else was just like, gravitating to it and going, wow, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. And the page just kept growing. More people were coming.
What do you think was that magic dust? Now, I know, it's hard to compare the organic days now because it's obviously a little bit more difficult on Instagram, Facebook and everything else. But what do you think was the part of the magic that was making it so appealing? Do you think it was the catchy hashtag, the Fitazfk?
$28, 28 days. I think it was pretty price orientated. I think people were getting good results out of it. 28 days wasn't like it. There weren't many guides out at 28 days.
This is 2014, right?
Yeah, there wasn't many out. They were all like
2015.
a little bit longer term, 8-week guide, and we're like $28, 28 days.
28-minute workouts.
Yeah, 28-minute workouts, short, sharp, get the results real quickly, pretty intensive.
Yep.
And girls were, they're getting the results, and it was showing. So people were like, yeah, I'll jump on that.
So you were focusing specific on the female demo?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
All female. And we're still we're 90% female.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think the biggest difference for us was the people that taught us how to, advertise on Instagram and use the platform really well. And then we had the knowledge in the exercise sense.
Yeah.
So we came on and created this system that worked rather than being an influencer or being, some girl that comes on and goes, cool, I've gotten fit. I don't really have personal training background, but I'm going to, preach this to the world. Whereas we had that personal training background. We had been in the industry for 15, 20 years and we just came out.
We know how to deliver
solid,
fitness. Like we know how.
Yep.
Like I know how to look at you and get you fit.
Yeah, right.
Right, because I don't know.
Sold.
I've trained that many people over my life. You can walk in, I'm like, you need this.
Yeah, right.
Just another sense, you know what I mean? And it's not what you know, it's how you deliver it. So if you can deliver in a clear, concise pattern that people feeling that they're achieving, then you're winning. So if you read this guide, it's like bang, 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 I'm achieving. You know?
Right.
So,
and so it was a product that was giving people quick results.
Quick results, yeah. So
who doesn't love quick results, especially in the fitness space, right?
Exactly. It's got to be easy too.
So it seems counterintuitive at this point for you guys to go, well, look, we've got a successful online business. Let's open a bricks and mortar. Like,
mate, that's all me. I was like, I don't want to open a gym. I just want to travel the world and be online. That's cool.
Laptop lifestyle, all that jazz.
That's it. But the bricks and mortar, it made sense, you know.
Right.
It's a lot of time and energy in the gym, and I'm so grateful we did it.
So whereabouts in Brisbane is the gym located now?
Kangaroo Point.
Kangaroo Point. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so walk me through the progression of, okay, well, we're gonna open a fucking bricks and mortar business.
Yeah.
You started looking at real estate. How did it go? What happened?
So this gym that Georgio actually used to work out of came up for grabs. The price was right. The location was correct. The space was beautiful. So, and we had a good concept. So we went ahead.
Was it distress sale?
Pardon?
Distress sale? Did you buy the gym in distress? Or?
No. It was that
Shut down.
It had shut down,
Right.
Because they'd gone belly up.
Okay.
But they didn't have a permit as well. So we signed the intentional lease and no permit. So then we
Went through 16 months.
we went through DA. The DA was pretty tough.
So you bought the building?
No.
Right.
We had to, as a tenant, you have to apply for a permit.
Gotcha. Yep.
So we did that. Now, in amongst all that, like we're probably 2 months out from that, Yazzie passed and I was still fighting the DA and burying my wife.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And you're overseas.
I was in Greece.
Yeah, right.
He was in Greece. So
mate, walk me through, like, because, you know, you mentioned it almost like it was, you know, yes, he passed.
yeah. We'll get into it, but for me, you know, not that I'm not going to get into it today with you, but I've spent a good year and a half grieving.
Yeah.
You know, hard grieving.
Yeah.
I've been in the Himalayas. I did ashram. I've done. So for me now, I'm like, okay, I'm still grieving like 100%, but I don't identify myself with that grief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when it comes off as nonchalant to you, it's not that I don't care about it.
Not at all.
Yeah,
that was not my intent. It was almost like, you know, it's the impact of these moments that sometimes are so profound that they create change. And I think,
massive.
Yeah.
My life's, I'm 100% different.
Yeah.
So everything about me is different. I think differently. I view the world differently. I see people differently. I see my life differently. I see death differently. I see everything 100% differently.
You know, it's interesting. You know, I've read a lot of very powerful biographies from some, you know, incredibly great entrepreneurs. And it's interesting when you hear people talk about the top three things that really fundamentally affect the trajectory of people's lives. You know, it's meeting someone. You know, they meet that person, and that person becomes that fire, that light that inspires them, you know, to go above and beyond and break through the limits. You know, it's the birth of a child. You know, a new child comes in, and there's this greater sense of responsibility because all of a sudden you feel like there's a purpose greater than yourself. And the third one, which is in some cases the most powerful one, is tasting mortality. Yeah. You know, either through a near-death experience or the loss of a loved one. So it sounds to me like it's impacted you. How long ago was it?
A bit over a year and a half. So
it's still quite fresh.
Yeah, June 2014.
And
2018.
Are you right to talk about it still?
Yeah, I'm good.
So where were you when you found out?
Okay. So I got called to, I went for a meeting early that day. So it was like 7 a.m. I called, and Yazzie would always leave the house before me. So it actually happened 200 meters from home. So I went to work early, and I was working on some MailChimp stuff with the guy that was pretty good at it. So then I got a call, and this part is probably the most traumatic part, because when you get a phone call and they give you them words, they just told me that my wife had been in an accident, and the guy's voice was shaky on the phone, you know. So I was just like, man,
was it a friend or
it was a cop?
Yeah, right.
You know, and he's like a police officer. And he was like, you know, it's serious. You should get to the hospital. And I'm like, fuck, no. I'm just like, fuck, just let her be alive. Just let her be alive. I'm just driving there just going, please, God, just let her be alive. Just let any bit of life be left in her. And looking back at it now, I knew, you know, for some reason, I knew. I was just like, when I look back at it, I knew her soul had gone. I knew, and I ran up the hill, and I just parked my car anywhere. And I sprinted up to emergency, and I ran in the back way where the ambulance come up. I've walked in, looking at the ambulance officers, and they knew who I was because she was a young girl. And I'm like, what the fuck, where is she? And everyone's just looking at me, and I fucking knew. They put you in a room, walk in, like there's 4 or 5 people there, counsellors, just telling you, nah. And you're just going, fuck, like... That's my soul. Yeah.
How How do
And
you?
totally my soulmate. Totally.
Because you guys were engaged at this point, right?
We're married.
You were married.
Yeah. And everyone knew. If you see the stories, you can tell. Everyone knew that this love that was like no other. It was just this pure 100% love that no one else, it was like.
It was very real.
It was real, man. Like fully real. It was ridiculous. So best mate, 100%.
I can only imagine that. Like, it must the gravity of something like that must have been pretty intense.
It was weird because like
at first you like convince yourself that this isn't real.
no, you're in like this limbo state. You're like this like your head's just you're in this limbo and like everyone's like, no, she'll be all right. Deep down, you're knowing that she's not. And the doctor's telling you that she's not, but not in that many words. And you're working it out. And you're like, oh, she's clinically brain dead, but we had to keep her alive because she was
organ donor.
Organ donor, right? So then the dad, the mum, they wouldn't believe it. I got it. Anyway, then they take her upstairs into intensive care. They're basically keeping her alive. And it takes the doctor about 3 or 4 times to confirm that it's not happening because you're not listening. You know what I mean? You're hearing, but you're not listening. And then they told me, like, yeah, she's gone. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, I want to go lie next to her. And I just moved her over so I can just lie next to her and be with her. And then I went and lay next to her and I was lying on the bed and I was just looking at her head was getting bigger because it was a head injury, Her whole body was fine. Everything was fine. Basically, 2 cars collided. She was walking along the side of the road, hit her, she fell and hit her head, and that was it. When later on I felt, they told me they got there and her eyes were already gone. Like she was gone.
Yeah, right.
She died on that spot, right? And then I'm lying next to her in the bed and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like, I'm lying next to a vessel. This isn't Yazzie. Her soul's gone. Like, this isn't. So I lay there for about 2 minutes and then I went out to everyone. I pulled her out. You were there. I was real composed. I don't know. I was like, listen, Yazzie's passed, We got to hang out here till we find the donors. I don't want everyone seeing how her head's getting bigger. So just do yourselves a favour, just go say your goodbyes, and that's it, And then we just hung out and waited. And then even, even when I went back into, when they finally do this, because you got to switch at night, and it's, it's not nice, but I was just hugging her feet, kissing her hands, touching her skin. But I didn't want to see her face, like it wasn't Yazzie. So, yeah.
So what happened from there for you, mate? Like at any point, did you question, like what you were going to do next, like with your life? Like,
oh well, it's all good.
What do you think about when you lose your soulmate? Like what?
Well, I'm very blessed that I've, and I'll tell you how I came to this, but I'm very blessed that I've got a very strong mindset, very positive mindset.
Because you're a fighter?
Yeah, I've been blessed with that my whole life, No matter what, I can always keep going forward. I'm resilient, I'm very resilient. So, but the funniest thing was when I got out of the hospital, I'm like in the car with my mum and dad driving to their house, and I'm just like, fuck, what now? Like, what do I do? This is my whole life, my whole dream, every goal that I've ever had her in it. And that's gone. I'm like, what the fuck now, Anyway, went to bed, got up in the morning, sleeping tablet, and then got up in the morning. And it's like, actually my mind was, I'm so grateful I got that mind because I was talking myself into things in the morning. It's like, that'll be all right, Aaron. You'll be able to do this. You'll do this. You'll do this. You can do this. It just, I wasn't, it was just one of their minds that did that.
So it's almost like you're on autopilot. But your autopilot...
Always trying to see positives. I'm always trying to see positives.
Which is your autopilot.
Yeah. And I'm
not everyone's... well, that's interesting because not everyone's as lucky to have that kind of an autopilot, And, I think that's one of the things that comes with the discipline of the pursuit of training, especially fight sports, And any form of physical discipline, it requires the ability to develop this mindset where you just keep pushing through.
Well, it's funny when you fight, you look for pain. because pain's growth.
You know, that's where the growth is.
You know, like I had to train with world champs, Australian champs, world champs. We just train at 2:00. I trained 2 to 4 every day for 4 years. And we'd run, and when we'd found the pain, and I'd be like, boys, this is when we had a little joke, find the pain. Because when your pain's there, and I got conditioned to find pain, you know. And I'm always been a guy through training, whatever I've done, I'm always about short-term pain for long-term gain, always. I'm never going to put off pain. If something hurts and you can stick a needle in me and drill it out of me, do it, because I'm going to be better later on. Right.
So it's almost like your entire upbringing was preparing you for this moment.
Exactly. So this is how I really came to that. So I'm at my mum and dad's, and I just get out, and everyone would come around. I had like 300 people through the door, like just crazy people coming. And then it touched a lot of the community, the death, Yassie's passing, just because of the love story, who she was, who we were, etc. So I used to get out and then pretend everything was like, talk myself into everything being okay. And then I'd come and sit on the couch and everyone would be talking, and then just go into this silence. And then this anguish would just come up, like this, like yell, crazy yell. And
like a howling.
Yeah, like bad. Mum and dad had to go tell the neighbours, like, listen, this is what's going on, because I thought there's this crazy guy in the house. Anyway, I had my shorts on. I was just walking the streets, just kept walking. And I was just like, man, all of a sudden, I was like, you got to go back to the site. And it's 200 metres from my home and about 10-minute walk from my mum's. So I was like, I got some flowers and I just started walking to the site, just a pair of shorts on, no shoes. And Mum's like, you can't go. I go, I'm going to the site. Mum's like, you can't go to the site. I said, I'm going. And they're like, we're coming with us. I'm going alone. That's it. Anyway, I just start walking. I was bawling. And on the way to the site, I remember I was walking up a hill, and I was thinking to myself, oh, fuck, you know what? Someone was protecting me. Someone took me to work early that day. I would have driven past. Someone took me to work early, right? And then I kept walking, and I'm like, okay. I walked down the hill. Someone stopped me on the side of the road. It's like, oh, we heard what happened, blah, blah, blah. Kept walking down the hill. I get to the site, and I look at it, and I'm like, man, there was no way this was a mistake. I was like, this is always going to happen. And I always had some irrational fear for Yassie's safety. Irrational, not just because I loved her, but just an irrational. I was like, why am I worried about that? So deep down, I actually knew. I actually knew. So then I thought to myself, okay, well, it wasn't a mistake. Yassie was always leaving. God just took her, right? And then I'm thinking to myself, well, fuck, why me? And then I thought, fuck, who else? Who else has got enough to get through this? Who can emotionally navigate themselves through this better than me? Who's got a better network? Who's got more going for her? Who's been a fighter? Who's gone through it? And I came back to the house. Mum just looked at me, and she's like, you're different. I was like, acceptance, 100%. That was in 3 days, 4 days. I accepted it. I was just like, I didn't say, why me? I said, that's what had to happen, and I've accepted it. And that's a massive part of the healing, massive part.
Do you feel that gave you a level of closure, or it was complete closure?
I didn't, like, whoever hit her, I didn't go to any of the court. I didn't do anything. I'm into healing. I'm not into negative energy.
Yeah, right.
I'm just into healing. I'm just whatever needs to be happening for me to heal, that's what it's about.
And so what did you do from there to, because I'm going to assume like that would have been an enormous weight lifted off your shoulders, and that would have been like...
It wasn't, when I look back now, yeah. But when you're in it, grief's like nothing.
It's like the ocean, it comes in waves, right?
Man, but like sometimes like I honestly wanted to end it for a week.
So you did think about it?
Oh, bro.
Every day?
Yeah, your whole life. Like for a week, I felt like I had someone on my back walking on my back. And I picked myself up and I just went to the gym. Every day I just got up, like tired, right? And then started getting meditation. So meditate 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night.
Had you meditated prior to this?
A little bit.
Right.
You know,
but this threw you in.
Threw me deep, you know. So my meditation was just a survival mechanism back then. So then I was just, in the morning, I'd meditate, get me through the day, get home, meditate. No TV, no nothing, just meditate, work. Meditate, work. did that fuck. Yeah, my brother. So my brother came on board, built the gym together with my brother. So then we just get up every day and just work. That's kept me going through that initial stage.
So it sounds to me like you've done a lot of healing.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know from you, like you seem to be one of these people that you like to take lessons.
Yeah.
And if someone was listening to this right now and going through their own grief, like what's some practical advice that you'd give them?
Where do I start?
Yeah, good question, right?
Man, I read and research, see what other people have done, see what they've gone through, take from it what you can. Look for a higher meaning. You know, I don't want it to sound cliche, but too often people get caught in this world where you're just looking at what's coming out of your eyes. There's a lot more. You know, once you discover that, everything's easy.
So it seems to me one of the things that you also are very good at, but this is part of your upbringing, your conditioning, is you are very conscious of your thoughts. And you are very conscious of that autopilot and maintaining the resilient thoughts that are required.
Yeah.
And it also sounds like to me that you were very conscious of the importance of the body's impact on your thoughts. You know, you were meditating every day. Training every single day.
Not letting it get a grip of me. Training, meditating, and discipline's a massive thing. People say, oh, you healed, but guess what? I fucking worked.
Yeah.
I fucking worked.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and I think this is one of the challenges. I think that sometimes, you know, people who are going through some kind of grief, either through loss or through some form of trauma, is without discipline, the healing process takes longer.
You got to work. I meditate, and I just went traveling, and I fell out of meditation. I got back.
It's a bitch, isn't it?
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
My world was. When you meditate, you function up here.
Yeah.
Right. And when you don't, you function down here. And when I function down here because of what I've gone through, it's fucking no good.
Yeah, right.
But if I function up here, Georgio even says to me, he's like, you're actually more of a pleasure to be around now. I've gotten to some stage where it's fucking crazy that I've thought to myself, I'm actually sometimes grateful what happened.
I was just about to say that. So one of the big things, if someone was to say, hey, how did Aaron get through it? He looked at it like, he wasn't like, why me, why Yazzie? He was like, I'm so lucky that I actually got to meet Yazzie. I'm so lucky that I got to spend the 3 years with her. I'm so lucky that I got to marry, you know, the person that means 5 years.
You got the numbers.
3 years.
You're the numbers.
I thought he was your numbers guy. What the fuck?
Wow.
You might want to check your BAS statement.
Yeah, he was just always so grateful. And when he was going through all these hurt, he was always saying, you know, I'm so grateful. I'm so lucky that I got to meet Yazzie. I'm so lucky that I got to learn off her. I'm so lucky that I got to spend time with her.
You know, that seems to me that's something that's also very practical as well, because I think sometimes when we're experiencing grief or we're experiencing some form of trauma, we don't experience gratitude, we experience, you know, self-pity. You know, and self-pity is one of those things that can drive you into the ground and drive you into depression and all sorts of dark places. But it's interesting, the biochemistry of gratitude is actually quite profound. You know, when you consider, you know, when we experience stress, you know, whether through trauma or loss, you know, the body releases a whole range of different hormones. One of them is cortisol. And when we're in, you know, deep levels of depression or experiencing trauma, you know, we've got cortisol and adrenaline running through our brains, and cortisol makes us stupid. And as a result, we don't make great decisions.
Yeah.
But when we can, and, you know, I often say this, hindsight's a beautiful thing, but unfortunately for some people, it takes too long to kick in.
Yeah.
But it seems to me like it was a very conscious, almost deliberate process of getting yourself to the point where you could see the hindsight in a very short period of time. That in some cases, because if you look at most people who, if they were to lose their soulmate or someone that they love, you can only imagine for some people it take years, in some cases decades, in some cases people just don't heal. But you were able to heal so quickly. And do you think gratitude played a big role in that?
I think gratitude helps you out day to day.
Yeah.
You know, like everything you do, like at the end of my meditation, I always just go to gratitude, and that just puts you in a mood when you finished that you're grateful for everything. Like I walk into the gym bouncing.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
bouncing, like the fuck. I'm like, how are you? And that's not fake.
Yeah.
I fucking love seeing you. I'm like, hey bro, how are ya? What's up? Like, I'm loving what you're giving me. I'm all about the energy exchange now. Like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
I felt it when we walked in, fact, like the moment I met you guys, but you both have great energy, but you just have this little beam around you, this aura
I didn't
around
even
you.
meditate this morning, bro. Should have let me meditate. I was up too early. No, I did on the plane. He's like, what are you doing? I've got my Om Shakas.
Best place to meditate is on the plane.
I had
I
my
love
Om
it.
Shakas going on, my hum. And I was like, man. He's like, what are you doing? I go, meditating. I go, I'm up in the clouds.
So I'm curious to know if this experience is recent, because everyone's got a baseline of the things that throw them off. You know, some people get thrown off because their fucking coffees, their barista makes their coffee a little bit cold. You know, and some people get thrown off because they don't get a car park close to work. And one of the things that I find is our experiences, they either lower our baseline or they set our baseline. And so I'm curious to know from you, has this experience really reconditioned you in a way now where you look at life and, things that would perhaps disappoint you or disappoint other people in a different way?
Yeah.
I guess my question is it a lot harder now to throw you than it was before?
Yeah, I guess, I don't get really upset about stuff. And even stuff that I should probably get a little bit more upset of. I believe and I know where I'm going and I know what's going to happen. So if it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer.
And how have you taken any of this and applied it to business?
I don't think so. Like, the only way I've applied it, because I've the gym was my project.
Yep.
So Georgio looked after the online. It's like, Aaron, go build the gym, build the members up, etc. So, man, I built that gym. I pretty much signed 350 members myself.
Before the doors even opened up.
Yep.
Right.
On the phone. Yeah, just calling, lock them in, key tags, like, fuck. Like, and then I went to India. I remember going to India and I was like, I hung out, I've got a good friend of mine, Guy Bennett, he's a kinesiologist. And he used to treat me once a week. And he's like, oh, there's this guru in India, we should go see him. And I've been seeing him for 25 years. So I went over to India to see this guru in the Himalayas. Anyway, when I left the door, after that, I left the door and I left that behind me, I was just like, fuck, I just got through that. How did I just get through that? It was like, how did I just get through that?
Yeah, right.
Like, wow. And I didn't realize when I was in it what I was doing. But when I got out, I was like, holy, how did I get through that? You know? It was it was crazy. I was just like...
Georgie, I'm curious because you guys sound like you're thick as thieves. You're pretty close, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Look, I think every partnership has its challenges, right?
The arguments are daily.
For real?
Yeah. No.
Nah.
I was going to say,
We act like brothers.
We act like brothers.
Yeah.
So every now and then you have a punch up out the back.
Easy.
It's, morning lunch, on the phone,
and
dinner.
he's very different, but we complement each other.
And I think that's important in any partnership. But I'm curious to know from you, Georgio, like from the outside looking in, like clearly, Aaron's come a long way. He's dealt with an enormous amount. But what are some of the things that you've seen him apply that have enabled him to overcome such level? And look, I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons I was really excited about this podcast is I think, business in its essence is about learning how to overcome adversity on a daily basis. And I think one of the reasons so many business owners fail is because they're not conditioned to deal with adversity. They're not conditioned to deal with stress. And I think the more resilient we become by dealing with, obstacles, and the more we do it very consciously, the greater level of potential we're able to express, because things don't hold us back. Like they become...
Well, my biggest one on that is pain causes growth.
Yeah.
If you don't have pain, you don't have growth.
That's clear.
And that's massive. Like when you cut yourself, you get a scar, but you build up.
Yeah.
When you do weights, you break a muscle down, but it builds up.
When you break a bone, it becomes stronger.
Exactly. So
in China, they actually revere artifacts. When they break them, they repair them with gold.
Yeah.
Because I think that which is broken has more beauty.
Exactly.
But I'm curious, Georgia, and I know you've probably got your own story here, and I'm sorry we seem to be focusing a lot on Aaron, but I really am passionate about this whole process of overcoming adversity, because I honestly think if we can equip more people with the skill to overcome adversity, and again, this isn't just about business, this is about life, And there's an old saying, I think it was Jim Rohn, it says, don't wish life were easier, wish you were better. And to me, one of the things I'm very much passionate about is teaching people how to develop, to condition themselves to deal with stuff so that they can perform at a higher level. But Aaron, I got a clear insight into your psychology and how you've gone through it. But Georgia, I'm curious from someone who's on the outside looking in, like what are some of the things you've seen Aaron actually do, either consciously or unconsciously, that has enabled him to perform? Because what we're talking about here is a guy who's lost his soulmate, just before he's opening a gym. Okay. And not only did he open the gym, he fucking, he with support crushed it on your own with support, but you fucking got on the phones, you did everything that was required. And I'm curious to know from someone outside looking in going, fuck, these are the things that I'm seeing that I could perhaps adopt or I could teach to my kids or people that I know.
I guess the biggest thing is Aaron didn't want to sit and mellow in pain. He wanted to move forward, so he didn't tread water. He was like, fuck, I'm not treading water. I'm not just going to sit here and absorb it. Oh, don't get me wrong, there were a couple of days where he did. He was like, today, I'm a bit off. Today, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to be me. But then, by the afternoon or the next morning even, he'd be just going, full pelt ahead and, hey, I want to swim to the other side and I want to stand up on the podium and I want to feel this sense of accomplishment and success, and my life isn't over. Yeah, part of me is gone, but my life isn't over, and I still want to live. I don't want to sit here and not live. So I guess that's what I took out a lot of it.
And just to hit on that, because what's interesting about that, and because when a lot of people lose someone like that, they can get into depression, and that's when the brain chemistry starts to fall out of balance. But by the sheer fact that you were moving on a daily basis, you were literally, you're
grinding.
You were literally taking your own antidepressants through the form of exercise and increasing your, the balancing your brain chemistry and increasing dopamine production just by being active.
Massively.
What were you going to say, pal?
I was going to say, that pain, when you get that pain, don't try to rush through it. You've got to go through it. You can't hide from it and you can't speed through it. You've just got to take the measures that when it's time to hurt, you got to hurt. When it's time to feel pain, you got to feel pain. You can't just sit above it the whole time. And sometimes I'm grateful when I hurt because I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I'm hurt, but guess what? In another couple of hours, I'm going to be good.
Be good.
Better even.
Yeah, you've got to sit there and own that pain, but don't let it identify you. Too many people make that pain or whatever happens to them identify them, and they sit in it and they're like, hey, I'm a widow, right?
It becomes their story. Look, I would have been successful, but 2 weeks before I opened my gym, I lost my soulmate, and it just wasn't my path in this lifetime.
And that kind of makes sense to how I acted at the start a little bit, you know what I mean? Like when you said it was a little bit like, that happened, but I'm not...
You don't want to identify as that.
I'm conscious not to let that identify me. It's part of me that built me, but there's a much bigger picture to me,
Yeah. I think you had a real big desire for people not to feel sorry for you. You didn't want people to feel sorry for you. They wanted to, hey, Aaron, are you all right and everything, but they didn't want to say, oh, poor Aaron or poor this or poor that.
It was really weird. It's kind of opened the doors up, and even not so much these days, but when I was actually going through it, I got drawn. A lot of people came in after I was kind of a little bit back up on my feet, and people would just call me, and it was weird. As soon as they called me, I knew what they wanted. I'd know what was up. And I'd be like, man, they're going through this. And I even said, the words would be in my head before they even spoke. I'm like, you need to do, and then people are like, I need to come see you. Sit down. I go,
so you weren't just working on people's bodies, you were starting to work on people's minds and their trauma.
It was like that. I was just getting drawn to me, it was my purpose that's what I would be doing, and I took that with pride. I was like, man, if I can help someone, come on in. Because
you've heard about the wounded healer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it was, and I felt that helped me as well.
Yeah,
because I was giving love, joy, energy.
So, how much of what you do now is attributed to legacy for Yaz?
With the big mural, you've seen the mural?
Oh my God, that's what nearly broke me.
That's
when
crazy,
I looked at it this morning.
So the mural just made it. I guess now, well, that's another big one. So Yazzy's brother, this is crazy. The night before she passed, her brother caught up with her and Yazzie. We all caught up for dinner. It was mainly them. I was at the gym and I jumped in for a feed. Anyway, he just made the decision that night that he was going to go start building apps or learning how to build apps. So then, because he's working in the jails as a prison guard, and he's a very intelligent guy, right? Extremely intelligent, and he just didn't push himself. So Yazzie's like, man, you got to go do it. And I'm like, you got to go do it. Anyway, year and a half later, he's building our app. We're just about to launch. He's full-time with us. So Yazzie's brother works for us full-time building our app. It's crazy. Yeah.
What's the app called? Is there?
Well, it's the guides are going online. Yeah, right. So it's Fitazfk, Fitazfk. And so this app's going to be pretty heavy hitting.
So is it fair to say that there's a fair bit of legacy in Yazzy's memory that is driving some of the concepts and the growth?
Yeah, for sure. So if you have a look at the guides now and all our creative, it's still a fair bit of it is Yazzie. So we haven't taken any Yazzie out of anything, you know. So our ads are sometimes still Yazzie.
She was like the face. She's the face of Fitazfk. So she's in the guide. She's doing the programs. Like,
my assumption with that presence that you would attract a very specific type of member. Now I'm purely just freeballing here.
Yeah.
Because most gyms attract, you know, typically, you know, a cross between either very insecure or someone incredibly egotistical. Yeah. You know, I think it's 10% of people last after the first month. Everyone else after that bails out. My assumption would be, because of the amount of legacy and the way that this gym was launched, that you would be attracting a higher conscious individual. Am I off base here? Or?
I don't think they're inherent. I don't think they know they're conscious.
Yeah.
If you got what
but
I mean.
Look, you've been in the fitness space for a while. Are you attracting a different type of client in this business than you had?
I think definitely we are. Like most gyms, you said, you know, most people, they get a membership and then they drop off after 10%, keep their membership after a month. Most gyms operate between 10 and 20% if they're a good gym of active members per week, whereas we're operating between 60 and 70% of our active members. So
it's high.
Not the greatest for money making, but
because you got gym for classes, that class is a gym.
Yeah, even the gym floor is jam now too. But
scarcity breeds demand.
Very good.
And is everyone and do a lot of people know the story? Like a
lot of people know the story, but can I say I think it's more about the energy. Like when you walk in that gym, there's an energy.
Yazzy's there.
Yeah, there's an energy. There's either us, there's just an energy there. And I feel like it's a modern day church. I do.
It is.
Yeah, right.
Like I feel people come there for a little bit of joy in their life.
Yeah.
Like they come there, like they get joy, they get love, you know, they get fit, you know. We call ourselves the endorphin dealers.
Serotonin dealers.
Shout out to you, Donnie.
So I guess where that comes from is we're not driven, especially in that gym. Online, you know, obviously we want to make money and we want to continue the growth of the business, but that gym's our home.
Yeah.
So we're not driven by like, okay, we need X amount of memberships. We got it to a stage where it broke even within the first month. We're happy after that. And now everything else is a little bit of cream, but that's our home. That's, you know, and you can feel that as soon as you walk in, they're like, people don't think we just want their money. People
the
think,
only thing I miss when I'm away is that gym.
Yeah.
Really?
I travel a bit, so the only thing I miss is being at the gym and feeling love.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
You know, it's interesting. There's an old Buddhist saying from Buddha, he says, teach them the illusion till they're ready for the truth. And, you know, I find in my business, I attract a lot of people who think they want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then I get them in a room for 3 days and they realize, fuck, I'm not here to make money.
Yeah.
That's a natural, like they
Great
make money
purpose.
as a natural consequence, right? Yeah. But it's the healing that is provided. It is, you know, it's the connection that's provided. It's the clarity of purpose that when it is given to people that they finally realize, fuck, it's not about making money. It's about pursuing things that we love, you know, in some cases in a very commercial way. And if it's done well, you know, there's a natural consequence where a shit ton of money starts coming in. Are you finding that that's a similar chorus in your song, like in the gym? Like you seem to attract people that come to the gym
because gym and all of the businesses that we run, like everything that we run, it's got to be done with integrity. Like it has to be something that is correct.
Matches our values.
And it has to add value.
Yeah.
Like value's the thing. Like money's not. Like it's. I'd rather be poor and service and have value. Well, I hate to be poor, but you know what I mean. But I don't want to be a rip-off merchant. I don't want to just give people stuff that I know is not working.
Yeah.
I want to give stuff that I know 100% worked and it truly, and if they follow it and they listen, they'll get the results. And making it easy for them to do that, making it easier to grasp. How can I make this information easier, which you would do a hell of a lot of, right? How can I make this information easily to grasp?
Yeah.
How can I make you implement this in your life so you don't have to have a decision whether you want to do it or not because it's already there? You know,
well, to me, commercialization is a religion.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, like, I actually think money is one of the most spiritual substances on the planet. Because when you think about spirituality, when you think about that energy at the highest level, it's about it's a higher power.
Yeah.
And that higher power is an incredibly powerful creative force. It has the ability to manifest anything.
Yeah.
And when you think about what a business can do, And when you think about what poverty can do, like there's no amount of poverty that we can acquire that'll help us change the world.
Yeah.
When you look at even someone like Mother Teresa, who I know has a mixed reputation when you dig a little bit deeper, but one of the greatest skills that she had was the ability to raise capital. She was incredibly good at getting money off people or getting time, or them donating their time that she could then invest into activities where she was helping the poor.
Yeah.
And that's where, to me, I think every single business owner has an obligation to learn how to, number one, deliver value at a very high level.
Yeah.
But number two, be so bloody good at it commercially that it throws off so much additional money that it creates more than they know what to do with. And what they do with that excess is they throw it into things that can actually, better the world and better humanity.
Yeah, definitely. And it is all energy exchange.
It is.
It's energy exchange. That's what it is, because the money coming in, that's energy. And you're given knowledge, that's energy.
Yeah.
So like you're just exchanging.
So, look, as we start to wind it up here, I deeply appreciate this conversation because, I wasn't sure where this conversation was going, but I'm really happy with where it has. But I'm curious to know, and I'll speak to you individually about this because actually before we start to wrap, Georgio, I want to touch on you. Like, how has this experience affected you from the outside looking in?
I guess similar to what I said before, really understanding like what really matters now as well. So like, the petty stuff, a little bit of hurt isn't going to, change my day. Seeing what Aaron went through, and not just like you can sit here and you can talk about it, and then people can also assume what he did, what he went through, and what how he changed and how he prospered and became who he is today from a year ago or a year and a half ago. I guess I saw it every single day, and I saw the goods, I saw the bads, I saw the growth, I saw him being really, really, what am I trying to say? Like inspiring to be around.
Yeah, right.
And I put a lot of that into my life now. Like my partner's gone through a few things with endometriosis. We struggled to have a kid, had to go through IVF and a lot of those things. And every time where I was like, this is hard, or this is too hard, or this might not happen, I remembered, like, Aaron, is he, treading water, or is he swimming to the other side? And I was like, fuck, if I sit here and complain right now, I'm probably not going to get to the other side. But then at the same time, I'm sat in my herd a little bit, and I said, okay, well, today we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but tomorrow we continue moving on, and so I'd sit in it for the day and then move on.
Because it's amazing how mortality, it doesn't have to be our mortality. It can be just the experience of someone else's mortality that can affect us. And it's interesting how we look, when you experience something that you have, how you look at a bad day relative to what a real bad day could really be. But one of the things that, I'd like to perhaps leave as a little bit of a legacy here from the both of you, but Aaron, I'll focus on you with this one, mate. I think the biggest challenge for most people is they're not prepared for grief when it happens. They're not prepared for trauma when it happens. You spent your whole life preparing for this. Not everyone has that liberty or that opportunity. But what I'd be curious to know, if you turn the light on and apply a little bit of conscious to the process of developing resilience and developing grit and becoming strong, what would be some practical advice that you'd give people listening to this that would be either help them get through the grief that they're going, or perhaps just build them up to have a level of conditioning so that whatever they experience isn't going to be as hard hit?
I'm going to say one thing. I'm just going to say habits.
Yep.
Okay, just enforce habits. Get a habit that's a positive one and never let it go.
And the more physical and the more pain that's involved, the better.
That's it. Just get a habit.
Yeah.
Like my habit, like you brush your teeth, like it's a habit. You do it every day, and you don't let go of that and value that habit. And then when shit comes along, you stick to your habit. You stick to what you know to make you feel better.
Your autopilot.
That's probably if you're asking for one, there's probably a few, but that's one just popped into my head.
That's beautiful.
Another one Aaron used to say was, when something would happen, I'd be like, bro, I'm going through this, I'm hurting in this way. And he'd go, you're praying, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, yeah, I'm praying for this outcome. He goes, don't pray for the outcome, pray for strength. So everything he would think about was like, okay, think of how you're going to gain strength to overcome this. And then I'd be like, bro, what happens if this happens in the future? He goes, we're strong, bro. We'll be right. As long as we've got strength, we'll be sweet.
Profound. Boys, this has actually been one of my most enjoyable podcasts to date, and my feeling is that this is probably going to be one of our most popular ones once it comes out.
Cool.
So, Georgio, mate, thank you so much for co-piloting on this one.
Thanks for
we'll
having
have to
us.
get you back so that we can find out a little bit more about your backstory as well. I'm sure there's one in there. And Aaron, mate, you're a fighter, mate. You're a very strong man, and yeah, you've inspired me in an incredible amount in this in this very short period of time. So, boys, thank you so much. Real pleasure, real honest pleasure. Thanks, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Georgio B and Aaron McAllister. This one's for you, Yasmin.
Cheers. Thank you.
There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Unstoppable with me, your host, Kerwin Ray. And do me a favor, don't forget to drop me a review on iTunes. Would love to hear what you think. I love reading what you guys have to say. And your reviews make sure we keep creating killer content just like this. If you want to stay up to date with me and all my movements, please jump onto the website, kerwinray.com. And also check us out on social media at Kerwin Ray.